Hey guys, John here. So, the most important skill a trader, an investor, can have is self-awareness. And you'll hear me repeat this over and over on this channel, but when investing, you are your worst enemy. You pose the greatest threat to your portfolio, whether that portfolio is composed of stocks or options or crypto or baseball cards or houses, or even just the friendships and connections that you've developed. We invest our time and our emotions and our resources into so many things, but we're the biggest threat to those investments. Our emotional management and our discipline in following our principles will determine our success in every single market. So choose to discover yourself. The concept of know thyself can be traced back to ancient Greece, China, and possibly even Egypt. Throughout history, it's resurfaced over and over again. Sun Tzu in The Art of War says, if you know your enemy and you know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. And that concept is incredibly profound. In investing, we are the enemy. So it makes it twice as important that we really understand this concept. This channel is deeply rooted in Stoicism. And Stoicism is rooted in the idea that we control, or we should control, our own destiny. That choosing how to respond is better than reacting. We don't control what happens in our life, but we do control what we choose to do about it. And so, if we don't make a thoughtful choice, then the events and choices of other people are going to make those decisions for us, enslave us to those events and those people's decisions. Don't be a slave. Choose freedom. There's a concept Ryan Holiday from the Daily Stoic talks about, where he basically says that journaling is indistinguishable from Stoicism, that they're one and the same thing. And at first I thought he was like, it was hyperbole. It was just how he talks about Stoicism, right? But then I realized he's right, because journaling is a conversation with ourselves. It's the process of communicating with ourselves and empathizing with yourself and exploring a relationship with yourself is how we develop as a person. It's the most effective way of developing as a person. And so I think the biggest problem today is that not enough people are talking to themselves. We don't understand ourselves. And so when we come up against these problems, we don't know what to do. And we're not good at it, or at least I'm not good at it. I think most people aren't. But journaling is communicating with yourself, really, is a weird, counterintuitive thing to do. But it's necessary if we want to choose our self-development, if we want to choose our growth. If you view it as if life is a game and we're all leveling a character, then if you just do things without any thought, you stumble your way through life, one hardship after another, overcoming them, but with no real plan in mind, then essentially what you're doing is just giving your character a random combination of skills. And while you have those skills and they are valuable, the randomness means that you then have to find some way to put them together to create more value. And it's much less strategic, much less effective. So choose to level yourself in a way that benefits you, that benefits your goals in life. Now, you might say, John, this is all well and good, this is great advice, but this is the trader's journey. What about the trading content? Fair enough. Okay. So these are the core elements to being a successful trader. What I'm trying to establish here is the building blocks so that someone can come in and start and build up their own strategy and their own principles and be successful. But if it was just about teaching principles, I probably wouldn't have started the channel in the first place. It's extremely valuable stuff, but that wouldn't have motivated me. And so I want to help people succeed in life, not just philosophically, but also financially. So, personal freedom. You can't truly be free if you owe someone money. We are a slave to the lender. The borrower is a slave to the lender. And if we don't free ourselves from that situation, if we don't have financial control of our life, then we can't truly be free. So it's important. It's very important. So let's look at it rationally. What are the outside influences that, and pressures that are acting on us right now? There's some big ones that are fairly obvious. There's a lot of small ones. Those are basically just trends in life that are affecting us. If you can identify those, you can be a successful trader. Some of the ones that I've been looking at are, inflation of the dollar, rising energy costs, decreased food production, and, shortages that are happening now or about to happen, supply chain that's collapsing. If you view these the same way that you view the challenges and pressures in your daily life, then all of a sudden it's a whole different ballgame. Is this problem going away? Is it going to get worse? Okay, if it's going to get worse, how can I protect myself from the consequences? Can I eliminate the problem? Those types of questions lead us to solutions that are very profitable. So if we can say, look, this is a macro problem. I probably can't solve this problem by myself. I can't eliminate the problem from my life. But what I can do is eliminate its grasp on me and my situation. We can invest in resources and opportunities that protect us as these problems get worse. And that's basically what I'm doing right now. I'm finding the highest potential opportunities for the lowest amounts of money that I can put in, because I don't have a lot to invest right now. I'm still rebuilding. I didn't pull out of my crypto quickly enough. So it's going to take a minute for me to get back to where I was. But I'll recover and we'll move forward, and you guys will learn from my mistakes moving forward. But that concept, the highest potential for the lowest amount of money I can put in, focusing on protecting from these threats. What are the assets that I can own that'll protect from these things. And I see options trading as the simplest vehicle for me to pursue high profits, low input. Of course, trading digital assets is risky, whether it's crypto or options or stocks. So I try to minimize that. I never trade with someone else's money, and I try to lock in my progress as I make profits, so that if something unexpected were to happen, I can at least anchor in my current lifestyle. I have that money, and okay, so do I keep those gains in cash? In the short term, yeah, but I try to move them somewhere that's more resilient, more anti-fragile, in case things get worse. And I tend to think that the dollar is at risk over the next few years. It may lose its spot as the world's reserve currency. So assets that can survive crashes, that people need, are not a bad investment, in my opinion. Definitely do your own research. But taking physical possession of the assets decreases my risk further. So I'm trying to diversify between physical and digital, and assets that will gain as this downturn continues. And if you'd like to see what exactly I'm looking at, feel free to drop into the Discord anytime. I usually go live every couple weeks. I'm not trading a whole lot recently. I'm more just purchasing and holding. But every couple weeks I'll snag a couple things, and if you'd like to drop in, I can walk people through what my process is and what I'm looking at and all that. I have no problem doing that. Certainly make your own assessments and your own judgments on specific investments, but if you'd like to see my process, you're more than welcome. Recently, I've been looking at SPXS. It's an inverse leveraged ETF of the S&P 500. And basically what that means is that it is designed so that when the S&P 500 goes down, it goes up 3 times more than the S&P 500 goes down. And so what I did was I purchased an option on that out a time frame that I consider likely, and basically that generalizes my risk because it doesn't require a specific thesis. I don't have to be right about when the food shortages happen, or about when the energy crisis reaches its peak, or when the dollar gets hurt, or anything like that. If I'm generally sure that by that time frame the S&P 500 will not be doing so well, then this investment allows me to capture the movement without knowing the exact specifics of why that movement occurs. So I consider it a way to sort of decrease the risk of my downturn trend. But definitely do your own research. There's a lot more stuff that I'm looking at. Feel free to drop into the Traders Journey Discord at any time, and we can go through some of this stuff. I may do some options trading tutorials or something. We'll see. But discover yourself, discover your environment, and proceed forward wearing armor. That's what I've got for you guys today. Keep Keep up the good work, guys. Thank you so much for your viewership. I really appreciate you guys listening to this, and I'll catch you next time. Have a great one. Okay, so by the way, I just want to say that I think silver is a particularly shiny metal. Have a great one, guys.